Bueno, nos acompaña en este segmento la senadora por Nueva York y precandidata por la presidencia demócrata, Hillary Clinton. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Thank you very much for being with us.
I am delighted to be here with you.
It's been I guess it's been a very intense campaign.
Yes, but it's been a good campaign because especially these last weeks here in Puerto Rico, my daughter, my husband, and I have made a lot of new friends. We've met so many people throughout the islands, and we feel like we have a much better sense of what we can do to try to be helpful.
What have you learned from Puerto Rico that maybe you didn't learn on previous trips when you were First Lady?
Well, I have been involved with helping here in Puerto Rico for a number of years, and of course I'm privileged to represent 1 million Puerto Ricans in New York. So the basic outlines of the challenges facing Puerto Rico were ones that I know about. But there is such a difference between, coming and working on Hurricane George's, coming and trying to get the Navy out of Vieques, and actually having the time, not just to go from place to place, but to have a meal, sit down and talk, listen to the concerns of people. And yesterday, caravanning was an amazing experience, making the eye contact and the personal connection that is really at the root of what I like best about being in politics.
Very different to the way that you campaign in the United States.
Well, it used to be more like that, but in the United States it's gotten a little less personal, and I regret that because I would much rather be in a hospital listening to doctors and nurses, be out on a beach, having people say, here's what I'm thinking about. Very personal, not set up, not a kind of an arranged audience, but just everyday people just talking about what's on their minds.
Talking about what happened yesterday, in the National Democratic Party of Florida and Michigan, when they did allow, only half of the delegates for the convention. Are you satisfied with that decision, or are you going to go and, I guess, appeal the decision?
Well, I'm still considering that. But I think it emphasizes the importance of what needs to happen here in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is now in the spotlight. You're electing, through this primary process, delegates who will have a full vote. That's more than the two states of Michigan and Florida will have under these rules. And I think it's especially critical that Puerto Ricans vote in large numbers today, because that's a way of sending a message that we matter, our votes count, we want to be part of the dialogue going forward.
What would the message be if you have a low participation in the primaries today?
Well, I hope that it'll be as high as it can be. There hasn't been a lot of experience here in Puerto Rico, so we have nothing really to judge it against. And I hope that as many people come out to vote as possibly can, because that will send a very strong signal that when I talk about better economic opportunities, more jobs for Puerto Rico, there's a big emphasis behind that desire that can be demonstrated by people coming out to vote.
Mrs. Clinton, how will it affect your decision or your nomination for the presidency of the Democratic Party, the decision that was made yesterday on Michigan and Florida's delegates?
Well, I'm still considering all of that. I'm ahead in the popular vote, which is a very good indicator of who has the most support. I'm slightly behind in the number of delegates. And we've got today's very important election here in Puerto Rico, and then we have 2 more elections in South Dakota and Montana. And then we'll see where we are. But neither of us today has the delegates. That's why voting here in Puerto Rico is so critically important, because you will literally help to pick the next president.
The message sent by the president of the Democratic Party, Howard Dean, was that it's time for healing. That's what he said yesterday. And I would like to know if this process has started already between you and Mr. Obama.
Well, I think that the differences between us are relatively minor compared to the differences between us and the Republicans. And once we have a nominee, we will have a unified Democratic Party. I have said I will do whatever to make sure the next president is a Democrat. I think I'm the stronger candidate against John McCain, and all of the analysis suggests that the states that I've won, the ones that I will win in the fall, are more likely to lead me to the White House. But once we have a nominee, we will get together and begin to turn our attention to the Republicans.
Mr. Obama has been saying that on Wednesday you will know, or the people will know, who is the candidate of the Democratic Party, and that he is going to be the candidate of the Democratic Party. What do you say to that?
Well, we're not at Wednesday yet, and that's why every person who votes for me in Puerto Rico today is making a different choice. And that's why I hope everyone watching who hasn't voted yet will actually come out to vote today.
So Wednesday is not the day that Hillary Clinton is going to step down?
Well, I am still working very hard to get this nomination because I think I am the best prepared to be the president and that I am the stronger candidate against John McCain.
Is it possible a ballot of Obama-Clinton or Clinton-Obama? Is that possible? Is that real?
Well, I think that we will get to that point once we have a nominee to determine what our strongest ticket is going against John McCain in the fall.
Would you consider being a running mate for Obama?
What I have said is that once we have a nominee, I will do whatever I can and whatever I'm asked to make sure that we win. We have not gone through this incredibly, historically close election not to win the White House. That is my goal.
A lot of people here in Puerto Rico feel that the promises made by the candidates are just that, promises, and just to win votes. So as soon as the primaries are over, we really tend to think that everything is over for us here in Puerto Rico. So what do you say to those people?
That you can talk to your friends and family in New York, and they will tell you that I try to do what I say I will do. That's why so many New Yorkers have been down here campaigning for me. I was reelected with a huge majority because I fight for the people and I try to make the changes that are going to help people. And I have a track record of helping Puerto Rico. It goes back more than a decade. And you can look at me and see that when it came to hurricane relief, or when it came to getting the Navy out of Vieques, or when it came to coming up with new economic incentives to help create jobs and standing up for your right for equal treatment with Medicare and other health programs, I have been there for Puerto Rico, and that's why you can count on me. This is not a asking you to vote just on blind faith. You can look at what I've done, what I have said I will do, and you can count on me to do my very best to actually deliver those results.
It's your commitment towards Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans having the right vote for presidential, or the right to vote for the president. It's a real one?
Yes, it is. I feel very strongly about this, that any United States citizen living anywhere should have the right to vote for the president. On Memorial Day, when I was honored to participate in the ceremony honoring the Puerto Ricans who have died wearing the uniform of the United States military, I said that Puerto Ricans have fought in every American conflict since World War I and have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and they deserve to vote for their commander-in-chief. And I feel very strongly about that.
Even though if this implies that the Constitution of the United States has to be changed?
But that's what was done for the District of Columbia. You know, the District of Columbia is not a state, and it was given the right to vote. Every United States citizen should be given the right to vote. And I believe that should be extended to Puerto Ricans regardless of what eventually is decided about the status resolution. It is very inexplicable that if you live in Puerto Rico, you cannot vote, even though you're a United States citizen, for the president, except in this primary, which is very important. But if you go to school or go to work in the States, you can vote. That makes no sense at all. And you then, once you come home, you lose the vote. I think that is wrong. I think it's a relic of the past and it should be fixed.
Okay, let's make a pause and we'll be right back. Okay, vamos a hacer una pausa y enseguida regresamos con esta entrevista en directo y en vivo con la senadora Hillary Clinton. Regresamos enseguida en esta edición especial de Voz y Voto. Bueno, estamos de regreso en esta edición especial de Voz y Voto de 2 horas de duración. Con nosotros se encuentra la senadora Hillary Clinton, con quien hemos estado conversando por los pasados minutos, y gracias por estar con nosotros again. Thank you for being with us here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Mrs. Clinton, do you believe that a solution for the status of Puerto Rico must come from Congress?
I think Congress must be committed to working with all of the factions in Puerto Rico to create a process that enables the people of Puerto Rico to decide their status, and which the Congress will enforce.
Do you really think that there is a commitment, or there could be a commitment from Congress to Puerto Rico? And I'll give you an example. Right now there is a 900 project in the House of Representatives with the territory yes or no proposal. Then there's also one presented by Senator Ken Salazar with 4 alternatives. So how serious can a commitment be when you have and see congressmen and people in the Senate just trying to comply with whatever the Puerto Ricans politicians want and not what the real people really want.
Well, that's why you need a president who will, from day one, as I have promised, work with all the factions and work with the Congress to create this process. I feel very strongly about this because, especially after having spent so much time down here and talking with leaders from all factions, because my campaign has brought together people from all factions, that this is unfinished business that the President of the United States must address. I would start it on day one, and I would seek to have Puerto Rico's status resolved by the end of my first term.
Would you seek a commitment from the Congress on that direction before that?
Yes, absolutely.
The governor of Puerto Rico, Aníbal Acevedo Vilá, who favors Barack Obama, said yesterday that Obama is the best candidate not only for the USA, but also for the world. What do you have to say to that?
Well, obviously I don't agree, and the more than 17 million people who have voted for me don't agree. I have received more votes than anyone ever running for a presidential nomination. I'm very proud that I have obtained the lead in the popular vote. And that says a lot, because our voters, as people here in Puerto Rico, understand that the next president of the United States must lead the world, not just our country. And so I'm very, very proud to have the endorsement of so many people. And I think my agenda and my track record of actually achieving real results is much clearer to people. They know what I've done and they know what I will do.
You have always said and have repeated through the campaign that, especially on this last part of the campaign, that the popular vote is crucial and dramatic, and you have the popular vote on your side. Mm-hmm. But should the rules of the game be changed in the middle of a game or beforehand?
But that it is no way changing the rules. I mean, I remember very clearly a few months ago when Senator Obama said the two indicators for who should be the nominee are the number of votes, the popular vote, and the number of delegates. We have a basic tie. Mm-hmm. I'm ahead in the popular vote, he's ahead in the delegates, but it's incredibly close. Those delegates remaining, both the ones who are chosen today here in Puerto Rico and in the two remaining states, as well as the automatic or so-called superdelegates, it is their job to pick the person who they believe would be the best president and the stronger candidate against Senator McCain. They can look at anything, and I want them to look at the popular vote because I think that's a very strong indicator.
What is your feeling of, you have been here for many days doing campaign in Puerto Rico. You have gone north, south, east, and west. And Mr. Barack Obama was only here for not even 24 hours. So why such a difference in campaigning styles? Or is it that he knows already that you are the probable winner of the primaries here in Puerto Rico? Or is that there's no interest from him?
Well, you'll have to ask him. But I think it is a sign of respect to come and campaign. I campaigned in states where he was ahead out of respect for the people who live in those states and out of appreciation for the people who supported me. I believed it was very important, since Puerto Rico had decided on this historic primary, to show respect. And it's also been a lot of fun. It has been so exciting to campaign in a way as Puerto Ricans campaign, with the caravanning, with the walking on the beach. And I also have an obligation to the 1 million Puerto Ricans who I represent in New York, whose family and friends are here. They maintain close ties. So for all of those reasons, I wanted to work very hard here in this primary, because I want the people of Puerto Rico to know that I have worked for them before, and I will continue to work for them. And I am very respectfully asking for your vote so that I can have the opportunity to do that.
I believe that you are very sincere when you say that you have had a lot of fun here in Puerto
Yes.
Rico. So my question is, what will you miss from Puerto Rico when you're gone?
Well, I'm going to miss the people whom I've gotten to know. I feel like I have made a lot of new friends, and it's been a real blessing for me personally. And just the whole feel, the ambiance, the music, the flowers, the colors, the food, everything. I will miss it all, and I hope to be coming back on a regular basis.
It's been a tough campaign. Any regrets?
No, none at all. I'm so honored to have been able to participate in this campaign, because it is historic. to have a woman and an African American running to become president is unprecedented. And I'm very grateful for the incredible support that I've gotten, and I'm hoping that people will come out and vote still today here in Puerto Rico.
Anything you would change or make different?
Well, there'll be time to think about that, but right now I'm very focused on the here and now, and I'll be here until the polls close and until we know the results, and then I'll be off to South Dakota.
What would you say as a final message to the people of Puerto Rico that are watching right now and they have not decided, or they have just stayed at home or do something else instead of going to vote on the primary? So what would you say to them?
Well, what my friends have told me to say is salgan al votar. So that is the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is please do come out and vote, and I hope you will vote for me. I hope you will look at my record of actually working on important issues to the people of Puerto Rico. Talk to your friends in New York about what I have done there to have earned such support. And vote for yourselves. Don't just come out and vote for me, but vote for your own future, your own jobs, your health care, your education, to end the war in Iraq, to give your children the kind of opportunities they should have. That's what I've spent my lifetime doing, and that's what I will do as your president.
Would you be back in Puerto Rico after the elections?
Yes, I would like to come back as president. I've already said that, and I will look forward to doing that.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Nice to talk with you.
Same, a pleasure.
Thank you.
Amigos, vamos a hacer una pausa y estuvimos conversando, como saben, obviamente, con la senadora Hillary Clinton. Enseguida regresamos con esta edición especial de Voz y Voto, hoy día de primarias presidenciales en Puerto Rico.